And welcome back to more Dwarf Fortress and Pantedguilds, the guild that has been panted. So in this episode, I think I'd like to talk a little bit more about our military, or at least our future plans for a military, because as we continue to get more dwarves, especially towards maybe the 40 to 50 range, I really want to have at least a schedule and a plan for how to approach our military-ness. Now, I think for a couple, or at least last episode, we kind of, pumped the brakes a bit and slow down the development. Oh, may Jackson rest in peace. And we slowed down the development so that we could kind of catch up on all of our stockpile comings and goings. And I think we're doing pretty good. Our stockpiles are filled back up again. We've got lots of metal. We've got lots of mix of wood. We've got a lot of nice stone. And again, these specialized input stockpiles seem to be doing what we want them to do. So I don't really have any stoneworks jobs right now. Obviously, we do have a lot of crafts because remember, in one of the last episode, or the episode before that, we didn't make individual rock craft orders from each of these particular maker spaces, these craft dwarf shops, and the input is restricted to our mixed stone. I think, I might go through a bit of a burner period where I dump, in fact, I might do that right about now. I think I'm going to dump a couple of just things I don't really want to have in the fort anymore at this point, in terms of like the mixed, the crazy colored doors. They don't really fit the theme, and I would like to standardize over time. And maybe that's not the best thing in the world for everybody, but I think for this fort, for my ideas for the future, I would like to standardize a little bit. I don't mind so much if tables, are different hues of wood, but I feel like the bright red and the bright blue doors don't really fit, although maybe they could be. The problem is they're going to count against the overall total. So like when you have a work order that says if you have, less than 10 doors, make some doors, they're going to count against that because they're valid, even though I don't necessarily want to use them. So we'll get those gone, and then we're going to talk about military stuff. And you know what? I don't think our miners are doing anything at this particular moment. We are eating, listening to poetry. So we are going to queue up another new section. This is going to be, and honestly, it can kind of be like any, oh man, I just had a brain thing. What if, because this mega project is going to go down 5 floors, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, right down here. And then what if we had things around it looking into the room separated by like glass? So maybe on the middle floor somewhere, like, because this will be the bottom floor, and then this will be like the 3rd floor. What if around the edge of this we had all like one floor dedicated to our temples, and your temples kind of just looked into the massive grand chamber? I think that'd be kind of cool. I don't think it really matters at what floor we necessarily do it on, although this at least has a good visual for me to reference. That could be kind of neat. Let's give it a shot. We will have something a bit different, as opposed to something, this will be, how I always have dwarves only immediately getting off the stairs, and I'm like, oh, we have to have everything close to the stairwell. It's a bit of a journey, and it should be a journey of spirituality and self-discovery. So I'm going to put some markers at the corner, so I know where the corner of our massive chamber will be, just so I can kind of get a reference point. And then I think we'll do something like this. I don't think the temples really have to be that big, to be honest. So I might just do like a 5x5. And we'll do 5x5s on either side. I don't remember how many religions we have, but we'll make enough for everybody at some point. And I might wind up doing multiple floors. So that could be kind of cool. Maybe this entire outer perimeter of each floor of our mega temple, our mega meeting room, the outside area on each floor will be glass walled in and looking into that open space. That could be kind of fun. And by fun, I mean, kind of strange, but whatever. We're experimenting. If we don't like it, we'll wall it off and pretend it never happened. The true dwarven way. All right, let's go ahead and clean this up. Again, this is our future religious floor. So this is going to be our prayer floor. Yeah, we'll have a nice big landing. I guess it doesn't really matter. Just like that. So our miners are going to get back to it. That's going to take care of that. Military stuff. In order to go with military, we need to rekindle our forges and stuff. We kind of put everything on hold for a bit. So what? Where are we at with our work orders? We have crowns, crafts, doors, chairs, bin, barrels, stuff like that. Charcoal is back up and running again. So charcoal, we are making 50 charcoal. Do we have much charcoal? We really don't have a lot. We do at least have 2 wood furnaces. You know, I wonder... No, I think if I put 2 more wood furnaces down, we just would be able to keep up with the wood coming in, and then people would be wandering, trying to find random wood everywhere. So, do we actually wind up taking from... Yeah, we're taking from the primary wood pile. Where's the primary wood pile? This one? And then this one is taking from the upstairs outside one? Yeah, the pecan... the pecan stockpile. No, wait. It's giving 2. I wanted to take from... the stockpile up here. Wood stockpile. Yeah, well, again, this is like, I don't know, bulk wood. One day I'll come up with an actual proper name for all of our storage methods. So we can at least get another start. How much... We have tons of metal, though. I don't actually know if we need to go crazy with smelting. Yeah, we have iron bars for years. So, where do we end up with the equipping of the armory and whatnot? We have nothing in ammo. We do have a few iron bolts, which is great. Greaves, breastplate, high boot, cap. Do you have to double the boots? Is this a single pair? A well-crafted iron high boot. I'm actually really not sure if that's considered to be a pair of boots or just one. We do have a lot of gear. Oh, you know what's an easier way to view this? Is checking out the stocks. So if I head over to armor, hey, that's actually really convenient. We have 8 iron breastplates. Lovely. I have a ton of really weird mixed up. Can I do chest? No, it's going to be all armor. Okay. At some point, your dwarves will lose their shirts over time. Like, their shirts will get just destroyed from usage. So we're going to have to wind up replacing these at some point. I guess armor is anything that goes over the chest, I should say. And then we're going to probably have gloves or handwear. Probably going to be handwear. We have a pretty good amount. So there's 7 helmets. We have... Okay, so it does mix and match. So we've got... yeah, we've got about a set of 7-ish for everything. So let's finish this out with a new work order for the armor smith. Oh, we actually do have everything kind of queued up here. I want to make a work order so I can kind of track it. So let's go back to iron stuff. Maybe chest is the best way to go, or breastplate, chest plate. Okie dokie. We only need 2 iron breastplates. I'm going to do like 3 of everything else. So it's going to be our cap, I think, or helm, I should say. Iron helm. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to turn on any music for this episode. I was like, why is it so quiet right now? Tell you what, then we'll go into our settings and we'll see what the in-game music is going with right now. Nothing but silence. It's fine. We'll get there. There is interludes apparently where music is not playing, so there we go. So we're going to do our work orders for iron helm. We've got our gauntlet, 3 of those bad boys, and then the same thing for the high boot. What's after the high boot? Low boot, high boot, greaves. Probably 3 more of those. So again, this is just for our melee group, right? This is going to be for kind of like the melee squad. Gauntlet, high glove. So chest, helm, gauntlets, high boots, and greaves. I think that's right. There's like a 6th thing, isn't there? I swear I'm going to lose my mind. Where's Kiffy at? Where's Kiffy when I need him? He's always nicely up-armored, isn't he? No, he's not really. So either way, we are pretty well established. Here's my music. Oh my goodness. Hey, this is... I don't think I've heard this song. This is not part of the DLC soundtrack. This is part of the base game. I should actually listen to this every so often. Yeah, we've got greaves, high boots. Oh, shields. I think shield is what I was forgetting. Okay. I'll queue up a couple more shields, and we will be golden. Now, after this, I'm going to also start talking about archery. And this is a really cool thing that we've not explored in this particular playthrough. And you can set up your squads to kind of do rotational training and have off months and stuff like that. So not only are our miners going to be working on the special area there, I also think we should start working on the military floor. So this will be where the main barracks are. We'll even do like a special separate area for training versus barracks. So maybe we'll do like barracks off to the left, archery range to the south, and then a kind of a melee chamber to the north. That seems pretty cool. So let's just get a little bit of space here so everybody can do maybe 4 off the base, 2, 3, 4, then like 5. 4, 5, 6. I mean, they don't have to be the same length at all. This is going to be more of like a dojo type of thing. So I don't know how much space we're going to need with these particular rooms. The archery range can be much longer and narrower too. So this will be a pretty good size for a bunkhouse. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I miss the days when I could shift click and immediately get 11 in distance. Okie dokie. So this is going to be archery range down here because it's nice and long. We'll also put some storage there. And then we're going to have one of our groups to the side. So probably a barracks for our archers, a barracks for the melee dwarves. And then up here is just going to kind of be a training room. We also may want to think about crime and punishment. I've not thought about that much, but it almost would make sense to be on a floor with the military dwarves, right? Or I could wind up making a criminal area right in the middle of the fort. Maybe that'd be better because it's right, no one could escape because everyone would see it. I might turn this into a kind of an investigatory area. We did make a hospital, didn't we, or no? I might have thought about a hospital, but never actually made a hospital. So on the same floor that we're doing our churches and stuff in, let's just set up a small room. And for the moment, I just want to have a couple of... I mean, hopefully we're not going to ever need this many rooms at once. So this will be like where patients recover. And then this will be just a generic, room with storage, maybe some places to work. And then we'll do like a real big surgical bay. That could be kind of neat. And by kind of neat, I mean awful if one of our dwarves is ever needing that level of treatment. It's going to happen. I mean, at some point we are going to... It's pretty much guaranteed that we are at some point going to get invaded. We will have some enemies trying to kill us. The type of enemy just really depends on how rich we are and how much attention we draw to ourselves. All right, so the military floor is going to get designated or going to get dug out. We are making our armor. We are trying to make... this is the old leftover orders. I do still want to continue with bolts, though. Since we have so much iron... I'm pretty happy continuing to make iron bolts. Let's make more iron bolts. Where do we end up with the crossbows? This is our armor. We have tons of battle axes. We have 1 iron crossbow. We have that. This is actually really cool. I wonder if this does more damage. It's weird that, I mean, I guess it's not weird. It's pretty normal for Dwarf Fortress, but you don't really get any statistics for a weapon as far as I know. You can't tell how much damage. Now, I think the quality level is going to affect it, and the material level is going to affect it as well, but I don't know to what degree. So pretty much we only have 2 iron crossbows, and one of those is an artifact, but I do think it's kind of cool to equip our dwarves with a artifact weapon. So we're going to make 8 more iron crossbows because I do want to have some beefy squads. And then after this is done towards the end of this episode, we're going to talk about how to find and identify dwarves to join these squads, to join our military service. Have any chains to spare? We do have some iron chains. I'll see if I have got another spare puppy to queue up for our sentry duty. We're not quite at the stage where we can afford to have a constant guard all the time, but we're kind of getting close to it, which is nice. No other animals can be trained as a war dog. I did assign I assigned 2 war dogs to Kif, and one of them died after, if you don't remember that one, that was a great battle in the before times. We haven't checked in on a couple dwarves here and there. Let's find somebody and just watch what they're up to. Maybe someone who's down... Are you the armorer? You are the armorer. You're going to dump... Oh, you're dumping those doors that I asked you to. Let's just follow someone for a bit. I keep saying that I'm going to do it, and I never just stop to smell the dwarves. So we're going to go ahead and do that. They are using our lovely dumping area that we set up. Holy crap, when they go up, they are fast. Okay, so this one's going to take their time doing some charcoalness. Let's see where they go. So once they make charcoal, theoretically she should go downstairs real quick, come right back upstairs with a new piece of wood. She's going to put the stray bull, reindeer bull, into the pen pasture. So one of the animals got loose. I don't know if they do that on accident or if they get scared. So they're outside and nice and secure. I could put some walls down. Maybe we could look at that at some point. They're going to store a new item in the barrel. This one's actually really fast. Do you have a trait about being quick? Not really. They seem to be faster than other dwarves. Store items in barrels, which is great. The amount of storing is intense in Dwarf Fortress. I mean, like, if you think about all of the different items right now that need to be stored, ignoring stone, I mean, the stuff that we're crafting is really a large amount of items. So even like over at the Fisher Dwarfs, for example, every time they prepare a raw fish, that's then going into the main general output, and then someone has to move that to a specialized bin. Gosh, they used to... That's true. There used to be a setting about that where... What was that setting? I think it was that workers stored their output or... Yeah, it was kind of interesting. You could change it so that workers actually either dropped the item at their feet or stored the item. Maybe I'm thinking of RimWorld. That actually kind of sounds like a RimWorld thing now that I think about it. Oh, we have a little bit of fighting here. Didn't even catch that one. The dog and a wolverine and a cat are all fighting. It's the same freaking wolverine, I think. Unless this is a brand new fight. All right, so we've had a little bit of a kerfluffle over here. I can't tell if the wolverine... No, this is where the wolverine last was at. Do I have any dead critters? That's all I really need to check. Jackson, of course. There is a dead wolverine. That's probably from that other wolverine a while ago. We lost a... Oh, did the wild boar sow get named after it died? So random. There's our wolverine friend here, seriously injured. I can't wait to have a full squad of archers to just come out and absolutely wreck face if needed. Alright, like clear all those orders. Uh-oh. Are you stuck? No, you're fine. If I didn't have so many orders for the dwarves, for the miners, I would also start to talk more about our little security area. But honestly, I think the early raids, we're gonna probably get some sneaky goblins to come steal children. I don't even know how to stop that. Because if we lock the children inside, they just kind of slam a bunch of cancellation orders. Although I guess we could tell the children not to do any chores. But honestly, the kids help out a lot. Especially our super-powered kids who can lift up super heavy objects. And also, remember that we have this Wonder Child here. And I think I'm missing a name. No, we didn't really name this child. But I feel like... You know what? We are going to name this child Ender, because I just finished listening to Ender in Exile, and, it kind of fits. You got a child who's just an absolute genius, way above his level of average, intelligence for his age, and he made a legendary wood bracelet. So we're going to track Ender's progress throughout life. I love that it's basically just a tiny little miniature dwarf in terms of the child interface or how the child looks. We might need some clothes, by the way, at some point. I can't wait for some of the utilities to be updated. And to be fair, I've not really looked at... Ooh, our first petition. I've not looked at the forums to see if maybe, DF Hack and Dwarf Therapist are working. Maybe they're working 100%. And I feel like I gave them a rough go a couple episodes ago. I was talking about how Dwarf Fortress succeeded without mods. It's not really fair because a lot of people use DF Hack. I think it was more in the terms of just the sheer number of different mods that RimWorld has compared to something like Dwarf Fortress. So we have our first petition, which is pretty cool. So Keymen Trick Plotted wishes to reside in our city for the purposes of entertaining citizens and visitors. So I'm going to go ahead and approve that petition. That's the first time we've had one of those, which is pretty nifty. So he's actually going to permanently rent a room from us. And interestingly, he will be in our list of people here, which is kind of cool. So he's actually part of the city now. And he'll do tasks, like he'll actually go around and pick up stone if he needs to. Anything that a normal dwarf would do, he's going to do. So welcome to the show, my friend. I hope you... Hello? I hope you entertain everybody. What? A goblin poet. Faint butcher. Are we friendly with goblins? This visitor has come to perform. He heard the rough fruit was the place to enjoy oneself. That's so creepy and also awesome. Yeah, Amksku, I don't know how to pronounce that. We'll call him Aksu Bemenso or Bemesno. Competent crossbowman. He is armed. Who let an armed goblin into our fortress? That's so interesting. He's a member of the Doom of Pricing, a former member, a current member of the Laborious Funerals. Wow, he is he's gone around the block a little bit, huh? He has been a member of quite a few different groups and cities. That is so neat. I thought we were constantly at war with goblins, but maybe it's only certain governments and individual goblins can come and go as they please. Hey, we're all about acceptance here. We accept that we hate goblins. Any more war dogs? I think I thought I had 2. Again, kind of awkward that I can't tell when a war dog is already chained up. If it's only 1 in this list, I think it's the one right across from me here. Yeah, I think we only have 1 war dog. We're waiting for the other puppies to grow up. Alrighty. So, bolts are being made. Mining stuff is being done. Oh, we need to start prepping our armory for usage, right? So we're going to have to craft some new items. So at the Alice's Stoneworks, I'm going to queue up a couple of work orders here. We are going to need weapon racks. I'm going to go ahead and grab 10 of those. And armor stands. And of course, misclick. Do we need... I think I am going to need 20 because we're going to have about 2 squads of 10. So an armor rack for everyone. We're going to need an archery, a target. I think that's made of wood. The list of things in the stoneworks is actually really short. Bookcase cap. Bookcase would be kind of cool. We do need to make a library at some point. I guess we don't need to, but it would be kind of neat. Let's make 10 bookcases for no particular reason. All right, and then we're going to queue up over in the carpentry bench. I do want to make a archery target. Where the heck do you make an archery target at? Do you just craft the archery target from scratch? Oh, you choose to make it out of something now. Fair enough. We do have plenty of beds to act... Well, I don't know if we got enough beds. We might want another run of beds. In fact, we're going to be getting more dwarves at some point. So let's go ahead and queue up a pretty big bed work order. We'll throw 20 or so out there. Fantastic. Are you... Oh, the child is naked, I think. Yeah. That might indicate that we need some clothing. Just generic clothing. Do I have anyone who'd be a good worker or a good clothier here? I don't think so, because it would show their skill. Would it not? Yes, we have a competent leather worker in Zverda. Yeah, we'll assign this as Zverda's shop. That sounds good. I don't think she has much to do when she's not woodcutting. No one else is restricted in their job, right? Other than the tavern keeper, which does kind of make sense. Awesome. So, since you've got some skill, Zverda, why don't we just say... How would I set this up? I mean, like a leather shirt would be just a generic shirt. Can I make it a conditional where it's like a quality level? The type and the material, and no, not really. This was, I think this was a DF hack thing. There are some levels of automation in DF hack where if it included things that people were wearing, and I think it included a quality level, but we're going to go ahead and just say available, shirts available less than 10, make shirts. That sounds good. And we'll pretty much do the same thing, just as long as we got like pants and shirts, so they're not completely buck naked. Is it trousers? Yeah. Leather trousers. We'll do a conditional on that one. Trousers available less than 10. And anything else here from the leather shop? I will go ahead and throw back quivers again, because we are going to have a pretty large group of dwarves using arrows and all that jazz. And in case they die, we'll have some more quivers on standby. The same thing for water skins. We'll make sure that we have some water skins available at any given time as well. I do keep accidentally trading these away as well, so getting a replacement would be nice. We'll also do leather shoes, because shoes seem important. Wrong conditional. There we go. Shoes less than 10, make shoes. Look at all the things we've got queued up. Quite lovely. And because I have an abundance of fear, I'm going to re-auto-save myself here. I haven't had any more issues with that, and I've been looking over the forums. I still can't identify why I crashed twice in a row, but here's to hoping that is somewhat resolved. Okay, so I gave a bunch of orders, and we've got mining, we've got crafting. Our food situation is finally stable. Fairly happy with that. Let's double check a couple of dwarves' random needs here and see what they're upset about. So they want to pray. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, you can craft an object. You are literally the armorer or an armorer. So we have a lot of open crafting areas available. Dread, the armorer, has withdrawn from society, and he's went ahead and claimed an armor smith shop. Ooh, this is exciting. We might get a nice set of... you need square blocks, skeletons. Oh, God, we need bones again. Bones again. So 2 things of that. Stone. Yeah, so you've got the blocks, the metal. You need the skeletons, which is unfortunately going to mean I think it's time to sacrifice another animal, because it's just kind of hard to track down a random critter. We do have some mountain goats on the map. I think it's just easier to go ahead and butcher a creature. We'll lead them right into the butchery area. It's really quick. We do have a lot of extra animals too, so I'm not terribly worried about that. Did our foals ever grow up? We do have our horses grown. Reindeer, bull. We only have 1 alpaca. I try to get the animals that like we have a backup of, for lack of a better term. We have a couple of horse foals. Mule foal. I won't sacrifice the puppies. There's a certain level of hell for doing that. I remember one time, my friends, I killed 1 dog in RimWorld, and I still hear about it to this day from none other than Jexid, who is slightly dead. All right, we're going to butcher this stray horse because it is an older horse. We'll say it's getting on in years. And we'll give it a noble dwarven horse death. I don't know. We'll pretend. Taken by mood. Yep, understandable. One of our dwarves became a manager. So they're upping their managerial skills. I think just increased beyond their normal other job skills. We never did kind of open up this room either. This was just kind of a general drinking room. Although, you know, honestly, I'm so silly. Did we already dig out the hospital? We haven't dug out the hospital yet. Okay. I'll tell you what. We have water on all of the living quarter floors, right? Or we're going to as we progress. This room right here can be the hospital, because if you're injured, you want to get your wound clean. It's going to make sense to need water right there in the source. I have no idea why I didn't just think about that before, but this will be like a surgical theater. This will be a surgical theater, and then we'll just have recovery rooms off to the side. I mean, look at that. It was like it was made to be a thing. And let's do this. I don't know if we even need the recovery rooms, to be honest, but we'll give it a shot. So here's some recovery rooms. Maybe one of these rooms is storage. We can just have storage right in the middle, probably. And that takes care of that. Boom. Suddenly, a brand new space that is 100% useful. Now, this is going to... We're going to channel down into the reservoir. So, theoretically, hopefully, no one's going to drown at this particular junction. Another petition. Inge's Gate Touched, which is wishes to reside here to entertain folks. Yeah, sure. More people. I'm all happy. Happy to receive visitors here. Are there any bedrooms that are open and available? We have one bedroom that's for sale. Whoa, that was the animal. I think that was our horse. I hope that was the horse. Yeah, the Wolverine is attacking the dog right now, somewhere in this area. That's fine. There was a little death symbol, and I clicked away, but I'm fairly sure a horse just exploded. Yes, it did. So the horse just got butchered. Let's take a quick peek at Mr. Dread. You are in the strange mood, and there you are, my friend. You are probably about to go grab that horse skeleton. Sure enough. So you've got yourself some stray horse bone, quite a lot of horse bone, as it were. And then right back, and hopefully you start your object. No. Shoot, do you need more skeletons? Stone block, metal, block, bone. God, do you need more? The skeleton word hung around there for a minute. Do we have more blocks, first off? Before I go too far, I don't remember if I've made a lot of stone blocks at all. I actually don't know if I did. Just to be safe, let's do two things. First, we're going to queue up some more blocks, just in case he needs some more of those. I'll do a couple. Yeah, I'll just do a couple of rounds of blocks. Critical that we work on those right now. And just to be safe, I think I'm going to go ahead and slaughter another animal. How much bone is left here? I think he took all the bone, so maybe he needs more bone somehow. All right, we're going to go ahead and pop one. Let's go ahead and pop the water buffalo. This is fully grown right now, isn't it? Stray water buffalo cow, not a baby. Yeah, tame. We'll grab the water buffalo. I'm a little bit concerned about timing, so I think we are going to also queue up a hatch and a door. We've got doors. Let's queue up the door to get placed. And I'm actually going to grab this hatch cover, disassemble it. Unless we have a spare hatch cover, but I think I only made one at the time. Yeah, we only have one. So we will try to at least secure this room in case Dread decides to absolutely lose it. So there's the door. I think we'll get a warning. I hope we'll get a warning if he isn't satisfied in time. All right, so that was removed. Let's go ahead and grab the hatch and put it here, even though it's bright baby blue. Who else is in here with him? Arrowhea's in here. Arrowhea's brave. He's like, I don't care that he's crazy and mumbling to himself. Okay, so do we have blocks? I think we do have blocks now. So he didn't run and get the blocks, which makes me think that, yes, it is in fact a situation where we need to butcher the creature. Somebody is bringing the animal down. I might have to queue up another one. I don't know how many bones he needs. This could be helpful too, not this situation, but in this episode, as we're talking about the military stuff and having an archery squad, we could train some of these dwarves that don't have much going on in the fortress and have them go hunt during the day. We do have enough animals now that, okay, that was killed and you're immediately moving away, which is good. The worst situation would be to Dread to snap right now. Yeah, you've got a ton of... How many bones do you have? 20 bones. Man, you got a lot of bones here. Do we have any leftover bones? That would kind of give us an indication that you either need more or you're good. If there's any bones left, but I don't think there are. Good night. You're going to wipe us out of house and home here. Oh, gosh. It is nice to have such a big pack of animals. This is someone's... I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice the boar. And the stray reindeer cow, too. I know it's a lot of stuff, but I would really rather preemptively queue up an animal for slaughter than to lose a dwarf. I really would. I really don't want to lose one of my dwarves because they went crazy, they weren't happy. If he starts his construction right now, no. He did go down to try to get something else. He's getting more metal, though. So maybe we've passed the bone step successfully. Okay, good. Let's pause. He did start his mysterious construction. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel the butchery. last minute change, last minute reprieve. Call from the governor. Yep, okay. So the murderation has been stopped, and Dread is going to go ahead and make his mysterious construction. This is going to be something kind of impressive. We've got iron bars here, a ton of bone, and then some blocks. And then randomly some limonite. Works secretly. Dread is only... I don't know which... This isn't Fey. This is just particularly secretive. So it's secretive, possessed by Fey, and there's one more. I can't remember what kind of mood it is, but all of them, I believe all of them result in some kind of, artifact at the end of the day. Prepare yourselves for a very loud sound effect of the artifact being made, because I always forget about it. And it's going to scare the crap out of me. We did almost finish mining out this area. Can I go ahead and just prioritize this to get this last tiny bit done? Just when I thought we had got rid of all of our stone. I think the theory of using this area to craft random stuff is actually going to work out pretty well. We still just have so much stuff to move around. Dread has created Tithalal, a blocky iron high boot. She claims it as personal treasure, you little greedy bugger. Let's take a look at this fancy item. So you are now wearing, I would assume you're wearing your fancy artifact. Are you not? Did you just literally leave it there? You did. So this is a blocky iron high boot, of course of the highest quality, studded with iron and encircled with bands of horse bone, water buffalo bone, and rectangular limonite cabochons? Cabochons? I have no idea what this word is. Is this a random word from the game or an actual word? I just don't know. It's also spiked with kaolinite. Oh, cool. Oh, Dread. By the way, did Dread get a massive skill up? He did, but was he already? I don't remember if he was an already legendary armorsmith or not. But either way, nicely done, my friend. Get back to work with all the rest of our orders here as soon as you can. Lovely. Love that for us. All right. What about, hang on, we've got work orders here, don't we? Forge iron helm. I think this needs to be reassigned to the armorsmith. Yep, and sure enough, it was. The armorsmith queue was cleared because, he basically went crazy and claimed everything for himself. So that is why all of a sudden everything disappeared there. Alrighty, there we go. So our rooms are finally cleared up. Let's go ahead and start putting down some furniture in preparation. I'm just going to go ahead and auto place these down. There we go. I need to keep building and select closest material. Alright, so this is a 10-sized room. Hang on, I think I want to do it a little bit different. Boy, this is bringing back memories of Basic. Granted, I wasn't a dwarf and I wasn't in an underground bunker, but you know what? It was stinky. And the ceilings were very short, so it did make you feel pretty small. Alright, there's our beds here. Yeah, perfectly. Okay, so the beds are going to go there. And I think since I've got enough stuff, I actually might give everybody their own cabinet at some point. But we're going to put down, demanded by some nobles, ornamental. I thought these were not just ornamental and that they actually were a useful item. So we're just going to put down a couple of armor racks here. I apparently have not made that many just yet. We'll experiment with it. I'm pretty sure dwarves do store stuff on these. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But we can kind of just experiment with the armor stands and with the weapon racks and stuff and see what kicks. We need a bunch of doors here. I'm going to go ahead and just say select the material, see what our status of doors. We still have one random Kaolinite door somewhere. Okay, let's go ahead and build a couple archery targets down here as well. Archery targets in the bottom. I'll just say use the closest material, and we'll make a bunch of archery targets. And then probably I want to have a stockpile here. We'll expand that stockpile to be here as well. And this will be a stockpile for ammunition, which is going to be fed from the main ammunition stockpile here. Awesome stuff. I think I need to rename this. This is the primary ammo, and this is the archery range. From there, I think we need to go to the zone and set up an archery range zone here, and we'll make sure that the starting point is not where the storage is, just for fun. So I think all we have to do is accept it. They are going to be shooting down towards the south, so that is all we have to do. We're just going to call this the range, if you will. What other zones can we have? We've got a dormitory. This is... What about military dorm stuff? Squad should be assigned to a barracks. The squad can be set to train, sleep, and store equipment here. Okay, so here is one barracks. Here is another barracks. And here is a third barracks right up here. And then what we're going to do is go into the zone settings, choose which squads will use this barracks. We don't have many squads set up yet, so I do have to do some work on the squad side. That's okay. Wait, I don't like how that looks. Hang on. I will move these armory things around a little bit later on. Struck a bunch of stuff. We've struck Sardonyx. Awesome. Mining out our hospital. Take a quick peek at our holy area. Pretty well developed at this point. I will start installing some of our offering places here. So offering place, etc. Have I been... No, I have been placing these successfully. Okay. Very cool. I'm going to hunt down this one red door and chuck it. It's somewhere. I don't see it. I don't see the red door. God, these are all doors that are installed, though, aren't they? I need one Kaolinite door. Oh, that's interesting. I think you can actually queue up destruction for doors that have already been placed. Interestingly. So if I ever wanted to truly just remove everything from the fortress of a certain type, I could do that. Curious. Interesting stuff. Let's just build a door here. I'm going to build this door. Right. Oh, the Kaolinite door is now gone. So somebody finally dumped it. Fair enough. We have a lot of visitors. This is fantastic. I'm guessing our tavern is at least making, you know, a good name for itself. We still have yet to pull out the Kaolinite from here. Which is kind of annoying. You know what we should do is honestly just... This is going to be such a long project. I should use this room for stone storage. Let's do it. Let's do stone, custom, no metals. But I do want the freaking Kaolinite here. I want to get some Kaolinite stored in this room. This is going to be so... What a messy room at the end of the day. Look, mega projects are going to take a hot second. I don't feel bad about delaying that one. Alright, use closest material. Let's door off all of these lovely temples. Awesome stuff. Dwarves are going to be very happy about being able to pray. I think that's actually going to possibly settle down a lot of the grumpiness, because a lot of that was from being unable to pray. Most people can craft. If it just naturally works into their schedule, they should be able to craft. I don't know how to get them to fight, though. Unless that comes from just doing normal... Unless it's like martial training type of fighting. I mean, you can start a fight Just scream at people if you want to in the tavern. I'm not going to stop you there. I'll hold off on giving any more orders for a bit in terms of mining. Are they all following their mom? Oh, that's so adorable. Or their parent, the puppies here. How cute. Awesome. The hospital's done. Couple things that we need from the hospital. One is we're going to need to get a well. So let's go ahead and do machines, fluids, well. I can make the well. Lovely. We also are going to need a traction bench, which is how we can snap back uncomfortably broken bones. Ugh. I think we do that from the mechanics workshop, actually, which we do not have anymore. So let me queue up a new mechanic workshop over here. Boyer's workshop. Yeah, I don't think we made the mechanics workshop when I trashed a bunch of other stuff. Zverda is hard at work making our lovely leather gear. That's pretty cool. Excited for that one. Did we finally finish our crossbows? We did, and we finished our iron bolt work, and we're almost done with the iron helm. Oh, man. We've got only about 10 or 15 minutes left in this episode, so maybe the rest of this episode will be dedicated to creating the squads, and I'll probably start talking about training in the next episode, because it is a fairly involved process. I also think it's about time to finally give the ultimate time-wasting order, which is to smooth all of this stone on this floor. Although, what I'm thinking about is if I make everybody smooth the stone, we are going to be killing a lot of time doing that. Eventually, I think I am going to replace the walls, because at least on this floor where everything kind of looks uniform in a way, I kind of want to try replacing the walls with manually created walls. They're probably going to get really irritated at me, but it's not going to last forever. We're going to give it a shot, and hopefully I remember the layout of everything. The doors are going to collapse. That's fine. And then some dwarves are going to be grumpy because we're basically evicting them from their bedroom. You know what? You can just deal with it, my friends. We'll blame this on our expedition leader. Who's our expedition leader, by the way? Did that change over time? Odin is still the expedition leader. Has he skilled up in socialization because he's been talking to people and like calming them down at all? Legendary miner, adept consoler, persuader, negotiator, comedian. Wow, this is actually very impressive. This is a lot of social stuff. Amazing spatial sense, a very good feel for social relationships. That's actually kind of cool. And a way with words as well. Ha! High social awareness. We picked the right person to be the leader of this great fortress. What we're going to do in this particular location is just set up a very long wall. I will manually select the material here, because I do want to make sure that it's all our lovely mudstone. So it's at least one type of material. Can I just click something like this? Oh, man. I really want to be able to just bulk assign the mudstone at some point. Shift click, alt click, or something. Just a small quality of life change. So the reason I'm doing this, there's no mechanical reason for this. This is like, you know, everyone's a little bit different. Some folks really like having things look completely different. Love getting everything in a nice uniform appearance. And now that when you expose a wall, but then you put a wall in front of it, it hides it. It makes it so much nicer. Especially the fact that we can engrave our constructed walls. So we'll see how this looks. This will be like our alpha test to see how the dwarves enjoy a nice custom crafted home. Alright, so this is the last little bit. I've somehow lost the mudstone. Thank you. And then I will be sure to cancel wherever the door would go. And then we'll replace the doors in a bit. Unfortunately, because corners are so weird, I have to... How are we going to do this? I have to suspend construction anywhere there's like a situation where a corner would not be able to get accessed. I think like that. Okay. We'll let the dwarves work on that, but now I think it's time to start talking about the military. So, oh baby. I don't have a great way of just identifying if anyone's like strong or weak. I think what I'll just wind up doing is assigning a bunch of dwarves to a squad, and then we'll just double check that squad, and if it doesn't work out, then we'll reassign them later on. Like we'll pull them out of that squad assignment. So let's make a new shortcut here. I'm just getting centered, and then I'm going to press, sorry, wrong way, H, and we're going to call this one military, and center it here. So we have at least one squad right now, the Cobalt Clearings. I think I'd like to change this up a little bit. Oh god, we can't. We have to use the freaking names. At least can I get something that's like, yeah, the Hardy Knives. That at least makes me understand that it's melee. And maybe we'll use just the color red for any kind of melee group. And we'll use a different color maybe for like the archery squads or something. So the Hardy Knives is our first group. Now E-Tour, I wish I could click on the dwarf and just immediately get that dwarf. E-Tour, I think one of these dwarves was weak, I think. And so we want to make sure, yeah. So E-Tour, you need to be removed, my friend. Sorry. Let's double check that Lore fits well in here. I misclicked. Lore is strong, so she is a good fit. I don't want to pick any of my really, like, you know, I would say the outstanding, highly skilled people. I don't really want to pick them. The ones who are the top, you know, I guess they're named, really. So it's going to be the unnamed folks that we're using. So Fath here, for example, would be a good one. I will start out with a small squad until we get some more dwarves. So Besmar here, I don't remember if you're anyone terribly important. It's not like I'm going to sacrifice them. It's just that I actually want to replace you because I think I'm going to put all the trappers in the same archery squad. It's just that we're, you know, we're pulling them out of the line of duty here. All right, Fish Cleaner. This is the first squad. Again, this is going to be the Hardy Knives. And we're at 5 minutes left, so I won't get into anything else other than the creation here. So I'm going to do no uniform first. And for this squad, we're going to go with something maybe bristling. Arrows bristle. Sure. And we're just going to use like a kind of a white symbol on gray or white or something like that to indicate that they're archers maybe. So we need a leader of this squad, and if I remember correctly, we're going to have to assign a captain here. Do I have anyone that's a good hunter? How would I actually go about this? I think I'd have to set a uniform, which is like leather, add a uniform, weapon, crossbow, confirm. We'll call this the archers. So assigning the archery uniform to this squad. Now if I look at the people I want to add, it does in fact include Mark's Dwarfs, but nobody has any Mark's Dwarf skill. That's fair. We do, I think, need to assign a captain, which can either, I think it can either be done through here. So you're the Halls of Bristling needs a captain. Here it is. So we've created the Halls of Bristling. Somebody needs to be the captain of that squad. I doubt anyone really has leadership skills, so this part doesn't matter. I'm going to use my trappers because they stand out to me and I don't really need a million trappers. So all of my trappers are going to be assigned to this squad. Our animal trainer, and we'll also do yeah, I'm really trying to avoid the OG group. We'll grab Nomal here as well. Not because they're named, but mostly because most of them are doing some pretty high quality work, and I don't want to pull them away from their normal duties in order to train. So we'll experiment more with this a little bit later on, but this is going to be our first couple of squads. We've got the Hardy Knives and the Halls of Bristling. I'm going to keep it there for now because the next episode is going to be fairly complicated, I think, as we start to delve into the military industrial complex of Dwarf Fortress. It's not terribly complex, or at least it wasn't in classic version. I'm sure there will be some growing pains in the next version. Meanwhile, oh, you know what? I never did figure out, no, it was the traction bench, and I needed to order a traction bench right here. So we'll put down a couple of traction benches. We do have some spare tables, I think. So our lovely hospital is pretty much, it's going to be on our living quarters. No. Where'd I put it at? It's all the way down here somewhere, right? On its own, right above the, yeah, so it's right about here. We're going to call this bad boy the hospital, although I doubt I'm going to be remembering that it's F8 in particular, but there is the hospital at least. We can put down a couple of beds for, I don't know if they recover on beds or not. Let's do a big zone check and see what happens. So, what do we need? I mean, what is the basis of a hospital? You know what? This is a call for the locations tutorial because I saw this specifically in the locations area somewhere. Traps and levers. Meeting areas and locations. Taverns, temples, hospitals. You need to have beds, buckets, thread, cloth, chests, store stuff. Anything about the room. They will rest and be given water until they are seen by a doctor. The doctor will need a table to perform surgeries. Some will require traction benches, which can be built at the mechanic's shop. Assign a doctor to the hospital. Soap. Orthopedic cast is gypsum powder. Crutches. Okay. I think we'll just experiment with just some beds here first. And a meeting area. So this is going to be like the main part of the hospital. Let's just accept it and then create our new hospital. The Walled Homes. I don't particularly know if I like that name yet or not, but we'll experiment more with that. We need a doctor, a diagnostician, etc., etc. Right now it's pretty much going to be Odin as all of them. Ah, can we not assign... Ugh. Wait, Odin can be... he can only be assigned as one thing. When we get more spare people, we'll train them as a nurse, I think is what we'll wind up doing. So we need a bunch of storage stuff. Everyone's welcome here, including visitors, for the moment. And we'll experiment more with hospital stuff in the next episode, I think. All right, friends, thanks for joining me for this episode of the Pantedguild Chronicles. The Chronicles of the Pantedguilds. I like it. We'll see what else happens in the next episode. More on the military, more on religion. We did need to check somebody. We've already looked at Jade recently. Cyril, a dwarven child. Following lore. We haven't looked at lore. Lore has 2 children. Olan and Ficod. Ficod? You need to be with friends. Self-examination. A lack of introspection for too long. That might just be a generic temple. I didn't think about that one. Maybe the room that we're digging out can function as a massive all-in-one temple. That's pretty specific, talking to a child, dining in a great dining room. Somehow that tiny little dining room is a great one. Huge family. That extended family is look at all this stuff. Holy crap, what a family this person has. Can I figure out where people are? Stakud. Delaire Sobir. That is kind of nuts. All right. Thanks for letting us interview you and get to know you a little bit more, my friend. Otherwise, we'll see you all in the next episode. Until then, take care.